Assalamualaikum everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm back at Toronto Auto Brokers for another review, and today I have the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette C8, a very popular car in America and North America. So let's start this full in-depth review by showing you guys the rear of the car. So what is the Corvette? Corvette was first introduced in 1953. It is a line of a supercar that's American built. Always the Corvette was a front engine rear-wheel drive car. But for this generation, the C8, it's first time the Corvette is a rear-wheel drive, and it is fully in a different chassis design. Because American muscle cars should be front engine, rear-wheel drive. It looks like a very cool looking big coupe. But this is for the first time Chevrolet and Corvette made this car as a supercar. And this actually is a bang for a buck, because it's gonna beat a lot of supercars, and the price is under 100 grand American. So let's start this full in-depth review by showing you the rear. So whenever you unlock the car, the amazing taillights turn on, but you have to go inside for them. So let's do that later, but let's look at the key first. Key's it's not like a regular Chevrolet. You have the Corvette logo right there with the Chevy inside, and then you have the lock, unlock, remote start, front opening, and boot opening. Let's show you the entire rear first. If you look at from the bottom section till the top, this is a actual aggressive looking car from the back. You have quad tips. It's American, it should have real quad tips. The entire diffuser is in black with parking sensors. You have a towing hook back here, and it looks aggressive. On the top, you have two extra vents for taking the hot air out from the engine. You have the number plate slot right there with the reversing camera. You have Corvette written and the upper spoiler. Now I'm going to get inside, turn on the rear tail lights, and because it's an American V8, it's obviously loud. That's why I finished the entire thing before starting the car up. So foot on the brake, pressing the start button. There, the car turns on. And yes, the car got a cold start, that's why it's that loud. But this is with the full lights, this is with the hazard, this is with the car on reverse. Now I'm going to put it back to park, and I'm going to come outside for showing you guys the tail lights. Taillights are pretty good designed. It's very nicely illuminated, and the hazards are swiping, and it's red because it's an American built car. And then just look at the spoiler on the top. You can get it with a spoiler, you can get it without a spoiler, it's optional extra, but it actually looks good with the upper stop brake light and the black badged Corvette badges. And then if you go all the way there, it's pretty much similar on the either sides. If you look at on the upper section, you have the Stingray badge right here, the Corvette Stingray badge, so that looks nice. And then you can see the engine cover isn't blacked out, but the engine cover itself is in glass. So you can actually see that V8 under there. This actually gets really heated up, so be careful whenever you touch that. That's a recommendation. And you have another camera here for the rear view camera, because it's a digital rear view camera. But overall, this car actually looks really good from the rear end. Now let me show you the car's powertrain. So for showing you guys the engine bay, I can open the car's boot from the key. So if I just press this button twice and hold it, it's going to pop it up. And this car is a really practical car. So if I lift this, it obviously has hydraulic struts. First of all, you have the storage area. You have almost 350 liters of storage here. That's pretty good. But this is actually for the hardtop convertible, so that part opens up and it goes inside this. This is a very lightweight, but it's not carbon fiber. If it was carbon fiber, it would be much nicer, but cost would have been more high. This entire part is covered with this nice black treatment, and you can see how much of the car's chassis has nothing to do. Like, this entire part is empty, because the engine's mid-engine. It's not a rear engine, it's a mid, and it's a V8, because American. So this is a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 engine that comes with the Chevrolet C8. And all of the Corvettes always got a V8, but always the engine was in the front, not in the back. So this is the engine. It's pretty good looking, but the Z06, that gets a better looking engine because it has a red cover and more power. This car is producing 490 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. Power is a little down, because you have to understand it's an American car. There's more fun than there is power. But the Z06 generation, that's supercharged, that gets more power than this. You have a small slot here, so you can lift up or get this engine bay down, and then if you just push it, it should go back in. If we talk about the car's powertrain, it is a rear-wheel drive car with a dual clutch automatic transmission, and it is actually really fun to drive this car because the sound, nothing else. So let's start by showing you the side profile of the car. So if I talk about the competitors, and it's pretty complicated because this car in terms of power it is very low, but in terms of size it goes with the Audi R8, Porsche 911 and other cars, AMG GTs, but it's a bit complicated because it's American, so it should go against like Mustangs and stuff. But let's come to the rear wheels now. Rear wheels, you have Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires that are very grippy, and you can see how grippy it is. I don't even want to touch it in my opinion. But the rear wheels are 305/30 ZR20s. You have 6-piston brakes at the back, and it's dual brakes, one for the actual brake, one for the parking brake, and it is 13.6 inches for the front, 12.6 inches for the back. You have short and long arm suspension with coil springs, and the wheels on this car is nice looking. You have Corvette written, it's in matte black with the silver stripe. It looks good. If you get up from here, just look at the side profile. It has such a long end towards the side that it actually looks very aerodynamic. But if you come here, you have a fuel tank placement right here. If the car's unlocked, just press here and you can open it, capless, and then you can fill up the tank. Pretty nice, good location. It's pretty low, so you can just tap it in, and there we go. The door handle is flush under this black treatment, so if I want to open the door, I can do that from here, and you obviously have frameless doors. But if you come to the actual aerodynamic section of the car, you can actually see it from the front end. You have this black treatment and it opens up from here. So you have this section that sucks up all the air and sends it to the engine. You have a side skirt too, but it's body colored. The exterior mirror is pretty simple. You have just a mirror and it's powerfully folded and unfolded. And then if you come to the front wheels are a bit smaller than the back. It's 245/35 ZR19s, and you have 6-piston brakes with the same suspension, and the brake size is much bigger, 13.6. Pretty good looking in my opinion. But now let's get inside the front. So now let's show you the car's front. The front of this car is actually really nice, but let's actually look at it in a deeper way. The Corvette, it is a supercar now, so let's consider it as a supercar. It has a very nice front lip. It has openings here for the radiators. It has opening at the centers. You have parking cameras all around the car for securing the car, and you can easily drive it. Front number plate slot is there, and it actually looks really good from the front end. If you get up from there, you have the Corvette logo with the Chevy inside at the front, and then you have rain sensing wipers. Overall, a pretty good designed car in my opinion. Pretty simple, but pretty nice. For opening the front, I have to do the same thing. Push this button twice, and then it lifts up, and then you can just pop it up. You have additional 200 liters of storage here, and it's pretty good looking in my opinion. You have your windshield wiper dispenser right here, so you pour that in. And this is actually safety regulations for North America. If the boot is too big that you can fit a child or something inside, there has to be a button that has to be there so they can open it from the inside. So this is a safety issue, so you don't kidnap someone at the front, but you can do it at the back, and they'll probably enjoy the V8. Oh my God, now YouTube's gonna delete my video. Sorry. So front looks pretty good. Now let's come to the headlights. For turning on the lights, I have to get inside the car, turn the car on, and then I can show you that. So here we get inside. Put on the brake, pressing the start button. And it always has to do that extra bit of sound. This is the hazard, this is the high beam, this is without the high beam. Now let's come outside for showing you guys the lights. The lights are pretty simple too. You have your DRLs with your hazards on the top. You have the main projector set up with a bit of DRL here and the side reflector light placement right there. Now let's get inside the Corvette. So now we're inside the Corvette. So it's a pretty driver focused car because everything's wrapping the driver around. But let's come to the passenger seat. This car has the optional extra bucket seats. That's why it has the embossed Corvette logo on the headrest, and it has some holes too, and it is very buckety, but I wouldn't say it's the most comfortable seat I ever sat in. You have pretty good room for your passenger. If you press this button, that's for your glove box. You have the owner's manual right there, and it has the Corvette logo on that too. This entire part is leather. This is leather too. This is your airbag, and it actually looks good. It looks like a spaceship in my opinion. If you look up here, these are your rear view mirrors, and it is actually decent size for American people. And you have two things here. What are these? This is actually for opening this panel that I'm going to do now. So for lifting this, first of all, I have to open this lock that I have to do from this button. So if I just press this like this, and then there we go, and then I can just take these out. So I have to do this side first. So if I just pull this out, there we go. If I just pull this out, there we go. And then if I come outside, I can lift it. But before that, I have to open the car's back. So if I just press that, and if I come outside and lift this placement up, then I could just lift this entire panel. But it's just gonna be hard for me because I would have to do it from my own. So if I just lift that up a bit, and then I have to get this entire thing by myself. So let's pick this up, and it's not that heavy. Like it is heavy, but it's not as heavy as you would think. But we're putting this back there. I have to just do it from this and then place it there. And then I have to lock it, but it's just I did the complete opposite. So let's get this up again, and then turn it around, and then put it back there. And then I have to lock it from either side, so let's completely do that. So first of all, I have to do it for this side, so let's get this in. And let's just keep it here for the meantime, because that was a lot of work for me. Now let's get inside. Now you can see, you can enjoy this as a convertible and as a hardtop coupe. Pretty nice, in my opinion. Now it's going to be more easier for you guys to see the interior now. But you have some storage area here. So first is this one, a bit storage with your 2 USB-C types and a aux cord. You have a wireless charger here. It says Stingray and Corvette. This is your speaker. It has a Bose sound system. 2 cup holders, and you can close this panel too. This is in full white. This is your Corvette embossed for your instrument system controller. You have your traction control. This is for your front cameras. So this is your 2 front cameras, and this is for the rear. It actually looks nice. This is your gear knob. So for drive, for neutral, for reverse, and for park. Pretty good looking. And then you have the rear view mirror. That's digital and analog, and you have 2 light placements behind that. And now I'm going to show you everything from this side. So let's show you the interior. Like everything is driver focused, so let's start from here. First of all, you have your climate control controls. So for your temperature, heated and ventilated seats, sync, auto, where you want the air, wind speed, and off and on, and no outside air coming inside, rear and front windshield heater, ventilated and heated seats for the passenger, and the temperature for the passenger. Then you have the cup holders like I showed before. And then if you go there, you have your controller for your infotainment. That says Corvette on the top, and your gear knob. And then comes your infotainment system display. So before we go into that, we can look at the car steering. That is a bit complicated because a steering should be circle, not square, but this is. But you have some controls here. So let's turn the car on to ignition, and it's going to do a nice animation. So here we turn it on. And then if we come to the actual displays and everything, you have your heating steering, voice command, receiving and cutting call, your controllers for the screen, cruise control, your Z mode, your change track and your volume, and your aluminum paddle shifters at the back. Now let's turn the car on, foot on the brake, and there the car turns on. Overall, you can see everything turns on with the display too. Infotainment is not that big, but for a supercar, it is decent sized. And overall, it's pretty nice too. For the cameras of the car, if I just press this button, all the cameras come on. And it's actually pretty nice looking in my opinion, and it's pretty useful. Same display you get on a Malibu, but at least you have a display, because a lot of supercars don't even get a display nowadays. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the screen. You can only see the cameras, and that's the only thing you want to see when you drive a supercar, because cameras are very important in these cars nowadays. If I press home, you have your normal Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. Like I said, same screen as a Malibu or a Cruise. But it's pretty nice. If you come to the car's instrument cluster now, for showing you guys the car's instrument cluster, we have to turn the car on. So let's put the car in ignition first, and then it slowly turns on, and then foot on the brake and press the start button. There it turns on. It's pretty nice looking in my opinion, and overall you can see all of the things that you have to see. Like you have your G-force here, you have your oil temperature, you have the kilometers, engine temperature, your fuel gauge, and the range that it's going to give with the fuel it has. You have your media here that you can control from this button. If you want maintenance, you can have that. If you want options, you can choose from that, like your all of the different settings for your heads-up display controller, your software upgrades, and all that. And then you can have nothing, or if you go all the way to the left, you can have your audio and performance. So you can have your performance timer for your 0 to 100 lap timer and your G-force meter. It's pretty nice, and you have your trip information too. But for the meantime, I'm going to keep it through performance and just keep the lap times in. And it's pretty simple. You have the RPMs at the center, that's everything. And if you put it on Z, then I'm going to do that, it just turns into Z mode. Nothing that special. But if I want to change the driving modes of the car, I can do that too. But it's actually pretty simple overall. So now the car is on track. And then if I change the driving modes on sport, this is on tour, and this is on my mode. So I'm going to leave the car on tour mode now. So that's the comfort mode for this car. But it overall looks pretty nice in my opinion. Now let me show you the car's door. So first of all, you have the Twitter there, and then you have all of your leather and your stitching that all the way covers it. This is your AC vent, this is your control for the heads-up display, and this car actually gets one. Then you have your parking brake below that, and this is for the brightness of the instrument clusters. So if I put the car in ignition, and then if I show you, you can actually control the actual screen from there. So you could take it down and bring it up too. That's nice. And then if we come below that, you have your death pedal, brake pedal, and gas pedal. This is the button for opening the door if the battery runs out and it doesn't open powerly. But it's pretty nice. You have your seat controls here. Seat is controllable in a lot of ways. And then you have the Stingray badge, and this is actually your side still. And then you have your black leather that all the way goes to the back with the stitching, and then it comes back down, and then you have the white all the way covering. This is your exterior mirror controls, your window openers, and then you have your grab handle behind that. It says Bose Performance Series right there because it has Bose speakers. And then if we go below that, you have your lock and unlock, and this is your door opener. This is your front and your boot opener. And you have a bit of storage, not bad. But if you come to the heads-up display now, so we have to start the car again. And there the car turns on, and you can see you have the RPM at the heads-up display. You can control that from here, and then you can change the brightness for that too. That's for the brightness, and that's for adjusting it, so you can lift it higher and lower. Pretty nice looking. You have your RPM and speedos, everything's inside. And now let's come to the door because we're pretty much done. So let's turn the car off, and here we come outside. So if you like this review, make sure you hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. If you want any exclusive and exotic cars, you have to come to Toronto Auto Brokers. It's one of the best pre-owned dealerships in GTA. It's pretty good. They're always friendly with everyone. Whenever I come for doing videos and stuff, they always get the cars ready before I even come. Very nice people, and they have very good looking cars. So this is a Corvette. Let me know what you guys want to see next. Until then, I'll see you next time. Peace.